Let me ask you this, Vocab. You wanted us to prove. You said that we can't prove that we're Israelites, right?
No, he's stopping right here. I'm gonna stop right here to say this, because in the beginning of this exchange, when Vocab decides to surprise everybody and jump on the panel, he asked Oz to prove he's an Israelite, basically show you can't show throughout your pastoral lineage that you descend back to Jacob, right? That's why he's asking him this question. So let's continue on.
I can prove that I'm from the tribe of Judah. You know why? Because I trace my roots back to Mali. Sandita Kita. He was an Israelite who started the Mali Empire, right? And they have subsets and subclans. Not all of the Mandinka are Israelites, okay? But there are certain subclans that are Israelites. And one of them is the Hayes clan. That's where my people come from. So I traced them their oral tradition. There's books on it that they got taken to Spain and Portugal. And from Spain and Portugal, the plantations that they got taken to in Jackson, Mississippi, is where my people come from. And there's oral tradition that Sandita Kita is from the tribe of Judah. There's oral tradition that the Hayes clan, the subset of the Mali Empire, come from Judah. Now, my question to you, why don't you ever go in front of these Khazars and these Ashkenazis and make them prove that they're Israelites? You always get in front of
that. You see that? And this is a question ever since I've known about Vocab Malone, I've been asking this same question. You've made an entire platform off of challenging the Hebrew Israelites and trying to say they're not Israelites. We've made this up. We've come to some kind of claim. We've come to some kind of realization or wake up point that we're Israelites, but we're really not, right? That's what you say. But you never see him do this with small hats. We've never seen. I haven't seen it. I've known about Vocab since I've been in the truth. And that's going on 8 years. I've known about him since I've been in the truth. And I haven't seen one video about him going at them and having them prove that they're Israelites and showing their lineage. I've never seen that. If somebody has seen that, I would love for you to drop the link so I can see it. Right? Because I haven't seen it. But he asked him, why don't you, the same vitriol that you have for us, why don't you show up for them? Watch this.
Us, African Americans, and try to say, you're not this, you're not that. But I've never seen you go over there to Israel and ask them, or get in front of the Jewish community, Jewish, and ask them, prove that you're from the tribe of Judah. Prove that you're from the tribe of Ephraim, Manasseh. You never do that because you have an agenda. Now, I would debate you.
Well, you asked me a question. I'll answer that question.
Okay,
oh, I thought you asked me a question, though.
Hold up. Khazars and Ashkenazis, which come from the Isles of Gentiles when you look it up in Genesis, how in the heck are they Israelites? You always run from this topic. I will debate you on this platform right now, and I can prove that Negroes are people, at least my people, before your Khazars and your Ashkenazis. Would you take that debate?
I'll tell you what, well, I'm going to answer your question. When I talk to a Jewish person who rejects Jesus as a Messiah, I don't ask them about their haplogroup. I don't ask them about their great-grandpa. I ask them why they reject Jesus as the Messiah. I try to have conversations about Jesus as the Christ.
But so your answer is the same question that he's asking them. It's the same thing. You don't make them prove who they are. You don't have conversation with them to try to make sure that they're actually the true children of God. You don't do any of that. But you want to talk to them about Jesus. And that's funny. I find that kind of like Alan Cooper said, sidestepper. I find that very hilarious because I see you having conversations with Muslims. I see you having conversations with Hebrew Israelites. I see you having conversations with atheists, but I never see you talking to a so-called Jewish man or a small hat, rather. I don't see that. You say you talk to him about Jesus. Where are the receipts? Where are they? I haven't seen it. I bet if I go on your channel right now, I can scroll down. I will not see that. So I'm willing to call bullshit on that. What's it? Did say he questions? He didn't say he questions. That's what I'm saying. He didn't say it. Ayash. He didn't say it one time. Vocab has a habit, and you're going to see that when we go through this as a review. He has a habit of saying a lot of words, and at the end of it, you didn't learn anything. You didn't gain any type of knowledge behind it. You just heard words, right? You try to put them together. You have that meme with that white lady doing the algebra and shit above her head, and at the end of it, you come up with nothing. That's what happens. And he, but bringing it back to the point, he's not answering the question. He's sidestepping it. And it gets worse. The more that was funny about this specific point, the more he talks about this subject, like with him and answering this question, the worse it really gets. Watch this.
This shows how Hebrew Israelism makes a person forget the gospel and want to start talking about lineages, despite what Titus 3:9 says.
So, then why are you talking about our lineage then? He said the Hebrew Israelism makes you want to talk about lineage, but you're talking about our lineage. If you're going to have that standpoint of lineages don't matter, why are you questioning ours though? And you know what that you know what that literally sounds like? What our brother said in the blue hat, an agenda. What they said in that movie, Message, it's an agenda. That's what's happening here.
Hold on.
If we're facing someone who rejects Jesus,
and I was peeped that he's about to get on him about it, but it gets worse.
If we're facing someone who rejects Jesus as the Christ, there's no verse that says make them prove X, Y, Z. The thing we're commanded to do is to proclaim the gospel to them. So that's what I do, and that's what I do with Sicarii.
But where are the receipts of that? I've seen you have a series, I believe it's called Islam Me or something like that, where you make fun of the Islam people. I've seen you have conversations with Islam people. I've seen you have conversations with Christians. I've seen you have conversations with Hebrew Israelites. I've seen you have conversations with atheists. I've seen all these things, but I don't see this. I'm starting to believe this don't exist. I'm starting to believe you know where your bread is buttered, and you don't want to mess it up by talking to. It's either you don't want to mess it up by talking to them about it and perpetuating white supremacy, or you are a white supremacist. Those are the only two, or both, really. That's the only conclusion you can come to.
The problem with Sicarii is it's a matter of fact, and you JJ as well commit this error that you think this imagined lineage you can't prove gives you special theological privileges. That's why we also undermine your claim there.
Special theological privileges. Well, I mean, the person who you believe is your Messiah, and it's not Jesus, right? Paul says in Romans chapter, let's just read that for a second. Let's do a little bit of reading. Let's do a little bit of reading. Let me go on Logos real quick. Right. Let's go on Logos real quick. Let's go to Romans 3. It says, what advantage then have the Jew, or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because unto them were committed the oracles of God. So Paul, who's really your Messiah, Paul says you have the Jews, the actual Jews, right? Not people who just claim to be Jews. The actual Jews have a certain theological advantage. So you believe something, you try to perpetuate things like, oh, you guys think you have a theological advantage because you think you're Jews. Well, somebody has to have it, and you don't ask the people over there claiming to be Jews, to be Jews what their lineage is, or questioning it, but you question ours though. But bringing it back to my point, yes, we believe we have a theological advantage because we believe we are the Jews. Prophecy shows it. You see in Acts 13, literally an Israelite being called the N-word. They've never been called that. That's not a thing. And various points in history. So, like, especially when you and thinking about things like as far as history about the Igbo tribes and like Ashanti, I believe Mali, right, and things like tribes and stuff like that. Even the people who you allow to be Jewish, and I'm gonna say it like that because you don't question their lineage. So who you allow to be Jewish, they say people who are descendants of those tribes are Jews or Israelites. And they make up a great deal of people over here in the Americas. So how are we crazy? How are we how are we believing in things that are unsubstantiated? The people who you allow to be Jews say we're Jews. But since you sought an opportunity to build a platform off of black people, which really just is white supremacy, right? You saw an opportunity to do that. You become a champion to all these Christians who think they know something but really don't, and allow you to be the crash test dummy. Since you saw that opportunity, that's why you do what you do and say what you say. You're not even a good debater, right? He debates, and we're gonna get into. I'll talk about that later, right? The way he debates, I just say like the way he debates seems like you mix Trump with Kamala Harris in different points. That's what it sounds like when I listen to like the presidential debates. I just key in on certain specific things that he be saying and his mannerisms and the way he deals with things and the way he specifically throws ad hominems when he's backed up into a corner. It's very Trumpian and it's very Kamala Harris like. And we're gonna get into that a little bit later. Let's go back into this.
Prove you're descended from Mali.
Yeah, I can.
And I hate stopping so much. I'm sorry. How dare you tell this man he can't prove what his lineage is? Who like? I'm gonna try not to curse, right? But I need one. Who the fuck are you? I gotta channel my inner Ariella when I say, "Who the fuck are you to tell this man what his lineage is?" What a crazy thing that is. That you feel emboldened to tell this man he doesn't descend from the people who he claims and has substantiatable proof to make the claim he descends from these people. Who are you? Like this is typical Mark Risery at its finest.
Have you taken a DNA test? What's your haplogroup?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, the Hayes.
What's your haplogroup?
See, I'm doing it again. That you just when you started this answer about dealing with this question, you said you don't ask them about their haplogroup, but you're doing it with him. And what's the common denominator? He is a black man, and these people are not. That's white supremacy. That's microaggressions. Like this man is a racist.
My last name is Hayes, right? There's a clan over a subset over in Mali, the Hayes clan, right?
Wait, how does that prove you descend from them?
Are you cutting me off? No, don't cut me off, bro. Let me calm down.
It's just ludicrous.
Vocab, let's let him respond. Let's let him respond, Vocab.
Let me calm down.
Okay, Mr. Hayes.
Okay, you can run in your mouth for the last 30 minutes.
Israel.
Let somebody else put you on the hot seat. Now you avoided my
That's
question.
right.
You avoided my question.
You guys
sir.
like that? JJ, I can go there with you. You're not a good debater, so you shouldn't be puffed up about it yourself. If we have a time debate, it's not going to go.
You're not ready for me. You've been on my platform. You got
JJ. You really think that because your last name is Hayes, you descend from the Hayes clan? Well, guess what? I have a Jewish friend whose last name is Reuben, so he must be a Reubenite.
Let's allow JJ to respond. Go ahead, JJ.
You have a Jewish friend, but do you question his lineage? You proudly said he was Jewish. That's what you said. How do you know that? How do you know that? And you're not going to ask that question because he's not a black man, which leads you to believe what? You were a racist. That's what that looks like.
It's so sad,
right? I got slave documents. Of my people being sent to the plantation in Jackson, Mississippi. You want to try to sit there and tell me what I don't know?
That doesn't prove you're an Israelite.
So would you debate me on that? Prove that he's got.
If you're an Israelite, yeah, I'll debate you if you're an Israelite.
You scared.
And he is scared. Look at the way he's avoiding dealing with the question that was asked him. he avoided it. He sidestepped it in his reaction, and now continuing after hearing the question, acknowledging it. When the brother asked you to debate the specific question that he asked you, you're now changing the question. Yeah, I'll debate if you're an Israelite. That's racism. It's not a what's that word? Coincidence. It's not a coincidence that he just so happens to be a black man. It's not. it's not a coincidence that him being a black man, you want to debate if he's an Israelite, but you're not debating if your Jewish friend is an Israelite. That's like, we can say whatever we want. And the crazy part about it, you have his cavalcade of, like, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna leave Marlon out of that, like the top. He's the host, right? In the top left. I'm gonna leave him out of that. But you have his cavalcade of followers who you see after this point and moving forward to the rest of the discussion. Let that fly. I would have let that fly, but they just let it fly like there's no problem whatsoever. Like you didn't just see what, and that's how you know Christianity is brainwashing. I heard that and immediately thought of racism. That's the first thing I seen and heard.
If you're an Israelite, yes.
There you go. No.
If you were an Israelite, yes.
I'm gonna have more proof that my people are more tied to the Israelite heritage than you sitting up here with these Khazars and these Ashkenazis. What are you? Me, I'm Sicilian, part German, primarily. You now see, so your little German side. That's what you're going with, right? You're going with your German side.
I usually no. Sicilian. Right. So, I usually wear a.
They definitely ain't no Israelites.
That's why I look how I look. Is my Sicilian ancestry?
You are heathen, sir. You're heathen. No.
Okay.
That's just name calling.
Guys.
JJ, but I got one.
We're gonna stop. Hey, guys, listen up. We're not gonna be slaying all that around, right? We don't need to. We're trying to have a conversation, right? We don't need nobody being called a heathen. We don't need nobody being called a heretic. We don't need none of that, right? We approach it. We all know we have opposing theological views. That's already been established, so we don't need none of that. All right. So just keep it copacetic. Keep it cool.
For him to tell me I don't know my heritage.
Hey, Molly, can I ask Vocab a question?
You can't prove it goes back to Jacob.
I have no problem with brother getting irate about that. How are you going to tell me who? The man says he has slave documents, bro. Are you about to argue against some slave documents? You about to argue against what it said on them slave documents and the manifest and all this? Like, that's only like, man's racist. I'm just saying it like it is. Man's racist.
If that's not an insult, that's a fact.
Let me get him. Okay, yeah, so can you prove that these Khazars and Ashkenazis is over there in the land of Israel are the true descendants of Jacob? Can you prove that?
No, and I don't know. No, and I don't care to. I talked about Jesus.
How do you sit here? Okay, sir. So how do you sit here and tell me who the hell I ain't? You don't think I know my roots?
You see, and I've seen that. So you don't care to, but you care to with us. You don't care to with the small hats, but you care to do it with what you call the Black Hebrew Israelites. I wonder why that is, Vocab. I wonder why that is. This is like this is so crazy that you just exposed yourself out here. Like before, we've had little microaggressions like this, but this is literal. This is literal racism. I don't care what they're doing. I talk to them about Jesus. Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that. You say you talk to them about Jesus. Do you talk to them about this? Let's see. 21, 24. Yeah, let's see. Do you talk to them about this? 22. Yeah, let's start at 20. Luke 21 and 20. It says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. He's talking about what happened in 70 AD, first Roman Jewish war, where the temple was sacked, Jerusalem was sacked, all these things, right? It says, I'm going to read that again. It said, when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Prophecy, specifically Daniel, the 9th chapter. There's other places, but Daniel 9, really. It says, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Christ said this. Do you talk to them about this? Do you talk? It says Jerusalem. Well, we know what Jerusalem shall be trampled or walked over or occupied by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. That's when Christ comes back. That's Daniel 7, when you see the Son of Man coming with clouds and all the dominion is given and converted unto him. That's Christ. You say you talk to him about Christ, or do you talk to him about this? Because if you talk to him about this, it's really going to be real problematic for them to now prove that they are Jews. It's going to be very problematic, vocab. That's how I know you don't like. If you're such a apologist, if you're somebody who's a vanguard about Christ's words, you should know this. You've read this. The modern exegesis on this is somewhere around 70 AD, right? We're not speaking different languages here, right? We're not giving separate exegesis here. This is literally talking about Jerusalem being occupied by Gentiles until Christ arrives. So who are they? You can say whatever you want about us. You can say we can't prove whatever, but if you're gonna say you believe in Christ and you believe in Luke chapter 21, therein lies a big, gigantic problem. What is it? Dre Drewski? It's problematic. But you know why this is happening? Because this man is either white supremacist or a racist or both. All the above, right? Let's keep going.
Yeah, I definitely think you can't prove. Yeah, let me explain something. Number one, the fact that your last name is shared with a clan, which is a different language. Let me explain why. The fact that you think because your last name matches a clan that you're claiming is in Mali doesn't show that you're the same. Like I mentioned, I have a Jewish friend whose last name is Reuben. Yeah. That means he's descended from the tribe of Reuben, according to your silly logic. Things just don't. Your last name doesn't determine your ethnicity. Number one. Number two, if you went all the way back to the founding of the Mali Empire, that'd be quite. Will you let me speak? See, are you scared? I can't talk. Are you scared to let me say what I got to say?
Let's allow him to respond.
I'm telling you why I said that. Because let's just say you could hypothetically prove that your lineage goes back to the founding of the Mali Empire. Let's just say that. That still wouldn't give you the ability to show that all your male ancestors descend from one of Jacob's sons. And that's why when I asked the Sicarii gentleman, that's why I asked.
How do you
I could be.
Y'all kept having changed as the video blogging. What is going on with this guy? I am the high and the thaw. It's all in the blood name. How Sabbath at sundown tomorrow. We're not doing that, brother. We're not doing that. We're gonna go ahead and sit you in timeout for a minute, just for a minute or so, bro. We're not teaching Friday, Saturday, Sabbath in here, right? Big lunar Sabbath keepers up in this place, bro. This is no place for that. I love you. We're not doing that in the chat.